Yes, my Facebook friends and stuff and everything. I'm live once again. Well, this morning I got interrupted by the feed and everything in terms of starting off by going through talking about getting a degree doesn't guarantee you success. There's something that prior to your degree that you need to know also. A lot of people make a decision to go to university. I did. A lot of people make a decision based on pressure from maybe other people, or pressure from their parents and stuff and everything. But what's important, is to choose a degree that is lucrative, that can you can make money from. So getting a degree, you just taking out and say you're going to get a degree in a literature, and you don't want to teach, or you don't want to be a writer, and and other stuff doesn't make any sense. One of the key thing is that if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It's simple. So don't choose a degree that there's no guarantee that basically that you're gonna you know get a job. You know what I mean? So that's something that you have to think about also, is that you need to try to get a profession that you could get a job. You know, this morning I was talking about basically, you know, going in, and if you're asked by a potential employee that if you can't do something, you could go and learn it, and then basically tell them that you can, and then you go and learn it and basically try to put it into action. You know what I mean? Later on, or you in the work world. The situation is that getting a good degree is extremely important. So don't go to university just for the sake of going to university. It makes sense to go learn a trade. I tell you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that basically have trades that's meaningful, because basically prepare them for what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? Don't get a psychology degree. You know what I mean? So that's something that you should basically concentrate on. Don't just go get a degree for degree's sake. You know, um, further on, today I was talking about basically, getting, and somebody said to expand on this. When I talk about, going into the interview, and, the black professional said to me that you're not suited for this job. That was the first thing he said to me. And then I went on to speak to him about the reason why I think I'm suited for this job. He said, you're too young. The second thing he said, you have no experience. The third thing he kind of alluded to was that the fact that I don't have a degree in England. So basically, because I did a degree at the University of West Indies, they don't recognize it as much. Although basically, the quality of the degree is very high. You're in a country that basically that dictate that you have to have a reputable degree from one of those higher institution, or from a known college. A lot of things. I work in America, and a lot of people ask me, "Oh, what college you go and stuff and everything," because that's how they basically judge, the quality of your profession, or quality of engineer you are. The situation, all right. So basically, from that interview, I realized a few things. That one, I need to basically get something on paper that I'm qualified in England. So basically, that's something that I had to work on. One of the next thing that I had to do, that the box that I had to tick, is to get the experience, which was difficult. All right. The next thing that I can't change is the fact that I'm young. So that's fine. That box will check itself later on in life. So basically, what I did, I basically went on to for any certification and stuff and everything. I went to I try and get. I went to to do engineering certification and stuff and everything. But my major aim was to basically get a qualification in the UK, so that basically I could be recognized. So, doing this first interview, as I said to you, that basically I was working as a customer service agent, but I went to get this interview with an engineering company where I could get the experience. So as I said, basically they were offering 12 to 14 pounds an hour. When they asked me what salary that I want, I basically tell them anything that they want to give me, because I wanted to get on that ladder, gaining the experience. So that's one of the things. So, they gave me the job at £8 an hour. In about 3 months, basically, they increased in my salary, to £18 an hour. So basically, more than double my salary in 3 months' time, because basically I went in, I proved my worth, I work as hard as possible. Anything that they ask me to do, I overdo it. You know what I mean? In the song where they say overdo it, I overdo it. That's how I basically I perform, and that's how basically I took the accelerated part, in the corporate world. What was key also, I worked for a small company. So basically, if you want to basically climb the ladder, you can start small and then it grows. It's an organic process, but basically you have to go in and do the hard work. You know what I mean? What was kind of important, for part of that process is that, I basically found out, at the time it was environmental engineering. But the company, when I went in, there was nothing environmental about anything that I'm doing. The company was a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering company. I did a degree in civil engineering. I don't know nothing about mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. But the situation is that I was told by my boss at the time, from your engineer, your engineer. So that's what you need to know when you go to university and stuff and everything. A university degree doesn't prepare you for the working world, and that's one of my sore point with UWI and all those institutions in Jamaica. They need to start preparing students for the work world. So you need to basically introduce the students to real life work situations so that when they transition to the work environment, it's as easy for them to basically to adopt and to and to to learn and to get ahead. So that's something that basically I think that we need to learn. And it's not only the technical, content and technical quality, of your education. It's also the practical approach, to your education. You have to make sure that you teach something that can be applied in the work world. And that's most of the stuff that's not done. And basically I had to go out there and basically I had to get that experience, but I had to basically do it the hard way. I transitioned completely. It's a I call it a 180 because I did a civil engineering degree, but basically I was, I had to learn mechanical, electrical, and plumbing in order to get ahead. You know, I didn't shy away from doing that. You know what I mean? What I did, I make sure I go in there, I work harder than my peers. I work doubly hard because they did a mechanical engineer or electrical degree and stuff and everything. I didn't. But that didn't deter me. That didn't stop me from basically pushing myself to forge ahead. What I did, I go in and I work 10 times as hard as them. You know what I mean? At the time, basically, I wanted to get my master's degree in engineering. And how do I choose what engineering I do now? At that point, I fully understand what I need to do. I didn't have to go around, beat around, and do a useless master's or an MBA or something else that basically that's not going to serve its purpose. What I did, I decided I'm going to do a master's in mechanical engineering, which is perfectly suited to the job that's at hand and the job that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So basically, I went out and did some research and find a university that offered the best master's course that's related to my field of work. You know what I mean? So just not do masters for the sake of do masters. Don't go and waste your money or your parents' money for the sake of doing that. And that's not what I am doing, and that's not what I did. You know what I mean? So basically, I went and did a master's degree in mechanical engineering. I'm working in mechanical engineer. And actually, who I heard from it, I actually talked to some of my industry peers and basically find out. So do your research. Talk to people who travel the path and know what's going on in your industry. So basically, I talk to people and they find out. They tell me that Southbank University was the best for pursuing a master's degree in mechanical engineering that's related to the HVAC industry. That's what I was specialized in: heating, ventilation, and air conditioning design. So I dug even deeper. So it's not only a mechanical engineering masters, it's something directly related to what I am doing in my everyday work activity. So basically, you have to do your research. You have to choose wisely and make sure that basically you know what you're doing is totally rated, so that basically it's easily transferable. So, one of the, this is a story that I haven't really told a lot of people. At the time when I was working at the company and I wanted to do my masters, I asked my boss that, tell him that I wanted to do my masters, and he said to me, go ahead, we'll pay for it. But what he didn't know that basically I didn't have my British citizenship or my residency. So there's no way I would qualify, for the home student rate, which at the time the home student rate was like $1,000 to do your masters per year, which is completely ludicrous compared to if you're an overseas student, it was £20,000. So basically, I had to find a way and figure out a way how I am going to do a master's. But my boss would pay the £800, but I don't doubt he would pay the £20,000. So I remember walking into registration and stuff and everything, and trying to figure this out somehow. I deliberately didn't bring my passport at registration. So it's one of the skills that you learn from living, in the ghetto and stuff and everything, is that basically sometimes you have to fake it before you make it. And that's what I did. What I did is that I boldly walked into registration for the university. I was accepted and everything. The funny thing that basically the person that reviewed my whole transcript and stuff and everything was a Jamaican. He basically saw my name and said, Garold, only a Jamaican can give him son a name like that, man. And gave me a call personally and basically start talking about me in terms of my achievements and stuff and my degree to the other people in the faculty. So when I went for registration and stuff and everything, there was a guy from Nigeria who worked at my company who went for the same registration. We walked in together. He was ahead of me and stuff and everything. And then I saw him turn back and he said, oh, I didn't take my passport. So they said I have to come back another day. In my dismay, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh no, oh shit. So basically maybe, should I turn back? But no, what I did, I whispered a word of prayer and walked boldly into there. And when I spoke to the faculty director and stuff and everything, he said, Garold Hamilton, oh yes, man, I heard a whole lot about you and stuff and everything, and about what you have done in your undergrad, at the University of the West Indies and stuff and everything. We're happy to have you here. So basically, right away, I start talk about all sort of stuff in terms of what I did at university and basically how I'm involved in sports, and I talking about football at the time because football is extremely important. So I find every means of trying to basically taking taking all the attention from the fact that I don't have a British passport. I walked through. They didn't ask me any question. They said, welcome. I walked through the line. I'm still looking for somebody to ask me where my passport was. But I walked straight through. They basically gave, they would pay for the education and stuff and everything. And, that was the story. Basically, they thought I was British. They taught me I had my citizenship, so basically I had to pay almost nothing for my masters. But so I had to so I'm continuing. Sorry for the break a while ago. So basically, I got through to do my masters and stuff and everything. So that box was ticked. So now I basically had a degree from a reputable institution that's marketable. So that's what it is. Basically, is to make sure that all the boxes that you need to tick, you do it one by one. So while getting the experience that I didn't have, I'm working at a company that I'm getting the experience now. And then I'm getting a master's degree in the exact thing that I was doing, HVAC design, at my job and at my current job. So basically, you have to just don't do it for the sake of doing it. Don't choose a degree for the sake of just getting a degree. You know what I mean? Get a degree that basically that you can earn from. Look at the earning potential, do your research, and basically try to make sure that you choose something that's lucrative. that can make that can take you out of the ghettoized situation. You know what I mean? Your people not suffer for you going and do a one psychology degree, or do a degree of literature, or do a degree, a history degree, if you don't want be a teacher, or you don't want lecture, or you don't want do something else. Don't just do a degree for do a degree sake. You know what I mean? If that's the case, basically, just leave school and go do, go do a trade. You know what I mean? It might serve you much better. You know what I mean? It's not, we don't have, you don't have your money for waste. You know what I mean? You don't have money for go university and waste it just for the sake of basically say you're going there. You know what I mean? Or if you do it, basically prepare that you have to go there and work as 10 times as hard as your peers, because basically it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? So in ticking all those boxes and stuff and everything, basically it happened so fast that after a year, I finished, well, it's a 2-year master's degree that I did. After the first year of doing my master's degree and stuff and everything, I was what you call poached by a firm, by an overseas firm. It was a company called Laboratory Communication. I was actually sitting in my office, and I got a call saying that somebody wanted to interview me, about a job. So I was headhunted. 2 years into the profession, finished my first year of masters. I'm like, why me? But this is the situation, and this is what I understand. Now, I have the qualifications. And two, I have some experience. You know what I mean? I was thrown into doing very high level job at a young age by my exact firm. It's called Tucker's Consultancy. So tuckers.co.uk, you can look it up. My mentor's name is Barry Shambrook. I'm not, being, it's a white guy who's one of the, the best person in the world in terms of a mentor. You know what I mean? His family embraced me. His wife, Rachel, basically embraced me like their son. It was a small firm, so it was a more family environment. So basically when, they poached me and stuff and everything, this guy flew down from, flew from the States, came and took me to dinner, this fancy, dinner and stuff and everything, and said, I would like to, for you to talk to my, to my company, because, we're interested in interviewing somebody who's young and dynamic. So apparently, at that time I become young and dynamic. So, from not having any experience and not suited for the job, now I'm young and dynamic, and I'm being headhunted. And this is 2 years after I start, from the bottom. You know what I mean? So this is what you get when you actually look and find out what the necessities are, to fulfill the job requirements, and then you go and try to get it. And that's what I did. So, let's carry on. So basically I went for this interview. Glitzy firm, I did my research, and I did my internet searches and stuff and everything about the company, and find out a whole lot about them. And they were new to Europe, very, $1 billion firm in the States. They were, it was not the same exact job that I'm doing. I would be on the owner side doing facilities design, but basically at the time they were saying, do you like to travel? They asked me that. I'm like, of course I love to travel. Anybody would. I'm from Jamaica. I always want to, to go on a plane. Like, I traveled here and stuff and everything. That's something that we aspired to when we were growing up and stuff and everything. I could remember my mother going to the U.S. Embassy about 50 times on to get a visa, until finally she get it. So, you know what I mean? We always want to travel. So when they said that to me, it's excited me and stuff and everything. So I went for an interview. Went for first interview, they called me for a second one. I went for the second one, they called me for a third one. So the third interview basically was a grilling in all the technical aspect of engineering. So that's going through all the technical stuff that I was actually doing in my master's. You know what I mean? I can't say it wasn't difficult, because I walked out that interview with my feet hurting and I was sitting. So that basically it was a tough interview. But at the end of that third interview, I went and talked to the headhunter, and he said to me, listen, this is the situation, Garold. They don't have a position for you. But because you were so convincing as a candidate, they want to make a position for you, so you have to go for a fourth interview. Fourth. I'm like, okay, fine. What do I have to lose? So I went for the fourth interview. Suddenly, okay, they create a position for me now. So they said to me, one of the conditions is that basically I have to not continue my master's degree. So I have 1 year left in my master's degree. And I'm like, no. So that's one of the conditions. So basically, I declined the offer. It doesn't matter how much money you're paying. My education was much more important than that job at the time, because I need to tick that box. I need to tick that box that I have a master's degree and a degree in an overseas institution, so that basically they can basically start to take me serious. So I did that. You know, they called the headhunter. They told the headhunter that basically I should reconsider. So I said my conditions are: one, I continue my master's degree, which is a day release. So on Wednesday of every week, I will not come to work. I'm going to be at school all day. That's the condition. The next thing they said to me, they're going to raise my salary by 8,000 pounds at the time. I was on 22,000, so they raised it to 30,000. And they said, well, we can give you 25 because you're not going to work one day a week and stuff and everything. And I said, no. I said, I'll keep the same $30,000, 30,000 pounds per year. And basically I still have my day off. I have nothing to lose. I have a job already and stuff and everything. So basically, when you're at that point, when you have the experience, when you have the experience and you're ticking all the boxes and stuff and everything, the bargaining rights is earned by you. You earn that. So you have to learn to use it. And that's what I did. They listened. They listened and they gave me the job. So basically, it's one of those things that you learn as you go along. That as you get your experience, as you tick all the boxes, you earn your bargaining right. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I always do. You know what I mean? That's what I'll be doing that next year. I'll bargain again. It's about supply and demand. They need you, okay. They will pay to keep you. That's what it is. So basically, I got the job that I want. One of the biggest dilemma was I went back to the firm that I'm working with and told him that I'm given a job that it's going to be 8,000 pounds more than what I'm working on, which is significant. I was 23 years old. At the time, people at my age was working 10,000 pounds less than me. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to do the right thing. This guy Barry Shamberg gave me the opportunity. I wanted him to give him the right of refusal to tell me, whether it's okay for me to go. So I asked him. I said to him, Barry, I got this great opportunities, but if you tell me to stay, I'll stay, because I owe him that. And when it comes to integrity, that's important when you're doing your profession. Loyalty is also important, because I was loyal, to him because he was loyal to me. The situation, he said to me, you know what, Garold, I'll think about it over the weekend, and on Monday I'll tell you what I think you should do. On Monday, I got a call from Rachel. Rachel doesn't work at the company. That's his wife. This is how important the decision was to him, that he spoke to his wife and he discussed it over the weekend and stuff, and his wife gave me a call and said, Garold, we all love you and stuff and everything, but I think this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I think you should go. And I took it. He said to me, Barry called me and said to me, Garold, go. And if you don't like it, you could always come back. This was, it was heartbreaking for me to leave the small firm. It was a family environment, but basically, I took it from there. In terms of I moved on, to level 3 communication. I remember my first day at work. They basically, traveling with a Jamaican passport. They said, you have to get your visa because, you'll be in about 2 weeks you'll be going to Paris. You know what I mean? I'm like, Paris? Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Ghetto Youths in a Paris. That was like mind blowing. That was my first work travel. I had my business cards, I had my credit cards on my desk and stuff and everything. You know, it was a dream come true. You know what I mean? I was working for one of the biggest telecommunication firm in the world. We were doing projects everywhere all over Europe. And I could tell you from there, basically, it was crazy for me because I travel almost every week. I was I was in Paris for 2 months. I was in Brussels. I was in Düsseldorf in Germany. I was in Munich in Germany. I was in Frankfurt. I was in Hanover, Germany. I was, name it. I was in Rome, to do factor tests with different. I was in Milan. Basically, I traveled the world. You know what I mean? Doing this job and stuff and everything. Ghetto Youth Rising. Because basically, what I did, I basically tick all the boxes that I need to tick. It takes time. But sometimes there's an accelerated route. But you have to make sure that the boxes are ticked. But for me, one of the most important motto for me is that basically something that I always say is that failure for me wasn't an option. Failure wasn't an option. And the reason why failure was an option is that basically my family survival was dependent on me basically being successful. I was the first out to bat in terms of university. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna make a duck. You know what I mean? So that's the situation. My mother is dependent on me to be successful. My brothers are also, and my sister, they look up to me. So basically, I had to do what needed to be done because failure was not an option. You know what I mean? So that's the situation. It's Ghetto Youth Rising. And that's, the grit. The perseverance. The fight. The valor, what you learn when you're growing up, the ghetto and stuff and everything, build you for corporate life. Let me nobody tell you, say, you're a ghetto youth and you're not going to come to nothing. You're mad because you're a ghetto youth and because you work hard and because you exercise that level of intelligence, because of that social interaction we have with your peers, with your brethren them every day, that build you for basically the corporate world. Anyway you take it. So I lived in England for 9 years. I climbed the corporate ladder, consecutively year after year and stuff and everything until I reached the highest level. And I can tell you more about it. I moved to the US and live in Washington, D.C., nation capital. And I'm doing the same. And the story will continue. Ghetto Youth will always rise. And this is what I call it. The reason why I call it Ghetto Story is that basically more every youth but basically that live in our underprivileged condition. Just basically just take yourself and say, you know what? Get the start. The start is education. That's the key. The next key is basically make sure that you make the right choices, because that have a lot to do with what the success part is. You know what I mean? Getting a degree doesn't guarantee success. You know what I mean? You have to have the right type of attitude, and you have to make sure that basically you work 10 times as hard as your peers or as your brethren. You know what I mean? That's important. You know what I mean? For everybody that's listening to me, you know what I mean? You can post questions and stuff and everything, and I'll talk about it. If there's topics that you want me to, to elaborate on and stuff and everything, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Somebody actually sent me a message and said to me that basically, how do you deal with a situation where you're in an interview and somebody said that you don't have enough experience? That's a tough one. But the situation is that you have to try to basically climb the ladder by even taking some mediocre jobs that will give you some other tools and stuff and everything that can enable your success. But it's always a tough call. But one of the key things that basically that I'm trying to implore, and that's something that basically the education system in Jamaica need to do this also, is that basically there must be a practical approach to your degree. That means there must be practical application and not only theory. Theoretical stuff, useful, yes, but it must be something that's meaningful and something that basically can translate to the work world. It don't make sense you go do calculus every day when basically you go out there and you're not going to apply calculus to none of your job them way you do. You know, that's extremely important. So that's something that only that basically I learn when I come here and stuff and everything. I learn it every day in my work. Like there's a lot of stuff that basically you get taught when I have no use. You know what I mean? When I have no use at all. And that system have to, you know, you have to fix it also. You know what I mean? It's, you know, the situation is that, you know, doing a whole technical approach, you know, to education, you know, can be twofold. You can start technical, but basically you have to implement all the practical approach, you know, practical solutions to real life and everyday situation. And that's exactly what, you know, there's a lot of degrees over here now. You know, there is an engineering degree of Penn State that basically it's architectural and engineering degree that I hire students straight out of Penn State because, you know, they can come in and they can just fit in and work because they've been doing it for the past 2 or 3 years or 4 years. That's exactly what it is. So that's something that basically, that's something that I think that, you know, we have to continue the you know the you know, to try to encourage, you know, university, the West Indies. I know they're accredited and stuff and everything. So basically, maybe it's a step further by saying, okay, instead of having a 3 year degree, why not a 4? And the 4th year might be the practical, you know, part of it, and they, you know, trying to prepare you for the work world and stuff and everything. Yes, it might be a little more expensive, but it, you know, you know what you're gonna do, you're gonna be more prime, you know, and ready for basically take on the task when you start working. You know what I mean? So the situation is that, you know, I'm going to continue to post these videos because there's a lot of lesson learned, you know, by you know, by going through, you know, the different experiences, you know, doing it in the UK. Now I'm in the, you know, I'm in Washington DC in the States, so it's a different perspective also. And also, you know, starting out in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So it give me a wider perspective of things and how things are, and give me you know, more tools also, you know what I mean, to you know, to be able to deal with, you know, with corporate America. You know, don't think that basically there's not going to be challenges. There's going to be challenges because, you know, there's a lot of you know, there's a lot of hiccups that I've experienced. You know, we don't have to go into that and stuff and everything, but, you know, being African American, I didn't call it, but a Caribbean, me a Jamaican, being a black man, you know what I mean, it's tough. But basically, what you have to do, you have to understand that basically you have to maybe, you know, you have to work, you know, harder than your peers. You know, not calling you know, calling out, you know, the you know, a white or Indian or whatever it is, but saying that you have to basically put in the work so that people can understand that basically you're much more than your color. And that's the thing. That's something that you that people will look past when you're performing, when people know that you're dependable, when people know that basically, you know, the quality of work that you do, you know, it's far superior than everybody else. So that's another stuff that, you know, that we can talk about on a different basis. But it's basically trying to make sure that you tick all the boxes. Don't do useless degree. Do a degree that's meaningful. You know what I mean? Do a degree that basically that you can take to the bank. It's not always about money, but it sure would make your life much easier if you can earn, you know, from what you spend a lot of money. You know what I mean? Forget. You know, the paper is good. You know, getting a degree is the most exhilarating thing. You know, it's walking across that stage and stuff and everything with your, you know, in your hat and stuff and everything is great. But make sure that basically when you get it, you prepare, because that's where the hard work starts. And that's something that basically we can, you know, a lot of people can attest, you know, who went to university. You know what I mean? That you know, it's It's not easy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in Jamaica who has finished their degrees and stuff and everything and don't have a job. We can understand that there's a tough economy, and there's not, we don't, we don't have the resources and the employment opportunities as somewhere like England and here in the United States. But it's also transferable. If you move, then basically you need to get the tools. But also you have to be innovative and industrious. You can't just basically sit down and say, you get the degree and you can do something with it, make it meaningful. There's something that everybody talk about and stuff and everything. It's talking about innovation. Innovation is basically using novel ideas, to create a solution that's different from what it was before. Apple do it with the iPhone and stuff and everything, but nobody is more innovative than Jamaicans. I can tell you that. They would make something out of anything. Yo, they even have their own language. Every day they get up, they make a new word. So don't tell us about innovation. You know what I mean? When I walk in a whole lot of innovation delivery projects and stuff and everything, you know what I mean? They always say, "Oh, you're so innovative." Man, what I did, the only thing I do, I'm questioning the status quo. Always me going on. Why does it have to be done that way? You know what I mean? That's always my question. Is there a better way to do it? If you ask yourself every time you approach a situation like that, you know what I mean? Can we do it another way? Is there a more efficient approach to it? And that's what it is. You learn those things because, you know what I mean? When you used to go out there and live in a ghetto and you used to play football and you never have football boots, what you do? You play barefoot. You know what I mean? You kick the ball as hard as any man will have shoes and stuff and everything. That's innovation. That's doing things different. You know what I mean? But if you overseas, if you do that and stuff and everything, you tell a little youth, say, "Oh, go on out, go play football and don't have a shoes and stuff and everything." That's not norm. That couldn't happen. But it's a type of strength, perseverance, and the type of thick skin that you get from basically growing up in a situation that that your motto is failure is not an option, and anything that you do, you're gonna make sure that you overdo it. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna close with. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say, getting a degree doesn't guarantee you success, but if you have the right attitude and you plan to put in the hard work, you know what I mean, and then you have the right motto to go with it, that failure cannot be an option. I'm going to close. We're going to part 4 next, in next week. You know what I mean? It's a weekly blog I'm doing and stuff and everything. So basically, people can hear from me and hear what me I think. There's a whole lot of thoughts flowing through my head. Actually, I just walk out of the symposium, because the symposium and stuff and everything, and I'm sitting in there and there's a whole lot of thoughts, because I want people to hear me, and I want this to be able to impact people where they can think about stuff. I get messages today that basically, you know what, I walk into an interview and I always tell them that basically I can't do something because I don't know enough about it. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be different. You know what I mean? So basically, I want to make a mark on somebody. I want to reach an ear that basically that gets some form of inspiration. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I'm doing this, and that's the reason why I want to do a blog. That's the reason why I come on Facebook Live and trying to impart some of my experience. It's not about showing off. I don't need to show off, that. I don't want to, and that's not me. That's not my personality. I just want to reach out to some people and stuff and everything, and have a meaningful dialogue about something and some experiences that help me and that shape me, and that basically create a good pathway for upward progression in life, in the work world and stuff and everything. So you know what I mean, big up Mark. All the way in Japan, basically. O'Neill, you know what I mean? Tessani, Sharon, my cousin and stuff and everything. You were at University of the West Indies with me and stuff and everything. Thanks for for joining me and stuff and everything. I'm looking for more people who are giving me the thumbs up and stuff, but this is important to me. You know what I mean? This is important to me than a lot of stuff that I do. You know what I mean? Because, this is where I have a bigger platform and stuff and everything that, that I have a far reach. You know what I mean? Share my videos, you know, hashtag, ghetto, ghetto Bible. That's exactly what I call it. And that's the name that basically I'm going to run with. Marcia, hey, all the way from England and stuff and everything. Good friend of mine and stuff and everything, O'Neill said proud of you and stuff and everything. You know what I mean? You know, I'm proud of you, all you guys for tuning in the same way. So you know what I mean? O'Neill, I watch me from Toronto. Big up. What I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to get some live views also and tell people when I'm gonna sign on so that I can have some interactive session where people can post questions and basically we can have a learning experience. You know what I mean? And have a have some civil and meaningful conversation about ways that we can uplift one another. You know what I mean? Because that's extremely important. You know what I mean? So, that's something, Tessania said a couple seminars in Jamaica and stuff and everything. That's something that should be in the work and stuff and everything. So I'm gonna, it's something that I'm thinking about now because more people are saying it and stuff. I never had that, those thoughts and ideas and stuff and everything before. You know what I mean? But I feel that I have something to my story to tell, and basically, it's something that I want to continue to do. You know what I mean? So, you will hear from me again. I'm actually going back to a networking session now to basically try to, get some business, as they say. You know what I mean? But, blessings to all my Facebook friends. I don't call them my fans. I don't have fans. I'm not an entertainer. You know what I mean? My friends. You know what I mean? I hold it deep to my heart. That's important. You know what I mean? And continue for like and share. You know what I mean? Hashtag Ghetto Bible. You know what I mean? That's my hashtag. I'm gonna be basically continuing. You know what I mean? Until basically, until I can't anymore. You know what I mean? So big up to all my friends. Thank you.